And welcome back, everyone, to the Pokemon Team Creation Series. Today's suggestion comes from Eric, who asked the question, what is the Pokemon team of number 362 from Kids Next Door? Now, number 362 is the character who ultimately became the supreme leader of the Kids Next Door. Beforehand, she was a very high-ranking member of the Kids Next Door, who was considered the best spy they ever had. But was ultimately betrayed by the previous, I believe it was 276, previous Supreme Commander who was about to turn 13. When she turned 13, you're decommissioned, memory wiped, all that kind of stuff. But she ultimately ended up taking over for him, and then she ultimately retired when and let number 5 take over after the fact. So, what is a Pokemon team for this character to look like? Well, she's one of those characters in the Kids Next Door that there isn't as much to go off of. That's not to say I don't have some stuff here, but it's more that I had to kind of build based off the little we know about her. We know she was the best spy they had. We know she's the supreme leader. And we know that she has a samurai motif. She is in a samurai mode later on in future episodes. Plus her helmet is very samurai inspired. So I actually started out with the Supreme Command, I think it's Supreme Leader, right? Supreme Leader. The Supreme Leader idea, plus the Samurai. Well, there's only one Supreme Samurai we have right now, and that is King Gambit. King Gambit is what you get with a leader crest. Supreme Leader, I think it is actually. Supreme Leader with a leader crest, and it is very much a samurai. It's very much a shogun. So it's clear this would be a perfect Mon to have on our team right here. It's a very powerful Mon too. So right there, that works. Once I got to that, though, I'm like, okay, now I need to work on some things here. Like that was the immediate one I had on the team. But what else could I have on the team? Well, I think being a KND operative, she's definitely well trained to hand-to-hand combat, so a fighting type makes sense to have on the team. However, as you'll see with a couple of the Mon on this team, that doesn't necessarily mean a fully evolved Mon. Because they are kids, not even 13 years of age, it would make sense that she wouldn't necessarily have, like, say, like a Hitmonchan or a Lucario or anything like that. I would think, no, something that has the potential to, it's still powerful enough, but would have the potential to be stronger than, could grow stronger, the potential there. So I went with Tygrogue because it's a perfect representation of potential for a fighting Pokemon in terms of what it can become. As we have Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, and Hitmontop. So, and still, even if it's not like the most powerful Mon in the world, which it's not, it's still a fighting type. It's still got power to it for what it's worth. All Mon are useful in their own way, even the weakest ones you can think of. I mean, look at Shuckle. Shuckle actually has formed really good strategies when you know how to use it. So Tyro could still be usable. But I continued on with the idea of, okay, what would a spy operative want? Well, they'd want Mon that could hide their presence along with them and use it effectively. Or use it in that sense to like hide, maybe sneak stuff. So I went with a Mon that is known to be able to disappear, aka Kecleon. Kecleon, except for the little stripe on its belly, can turn invisible. So that makes complete sense to me to have a Kecleon on the team. Beyond that, though, we also had a Mon that doesn't turn invisible but can hide its true form. I went with Zoroark for this one, and I could have gone Zorua, but I did feel at least one other fully evolved Pokemon on the team would make sense. These would be like the two things, like before she becomes a Supreme Leader, she probably has only like a Pawniard or a Bisharp at best to go with the whole Samurai idea, but those are more like chess pieces in a night. But then she became Supreme Leader, the Leader Crest came on, she trained a little bit more, and now she has a King Gambit. Zorua, I think, was her original ace, where it's a Pokemon that disguises itself. It's perfect for sneaking in and hiding itself. Beyond that, though, she does, like I say, have the samurai motif going on, too. So I went with, okay, what other besides King Gambit could I use for samurai inspiration? And it actually isn't a lot, but there are some. Particularly, a samurai is nothing without their sword, so a Honedge would make sense. Beyond that, though, there is one line, it's a starter line, and I feel like in the future, I think that KND would all maybe have like starter Pokemon because they're around that age where you would be a Pokemon trainer starting out on your journey. So I believe I went with the Samurott line, but I went with Duat. I didn't go with Samurott. The reason for that is even though Samurott is a bit closer, it does have swords. Duat is, I think, a bit more closer into more of like a style to a samurai as opposed to Samurott. What I mean by that is when it's humanoid still in design, at least it stands upright, so it does have that humanoid aspect going for it. And it can still use its shells in combat similar to a samurai. Duat, I think, is just, I think, the better option here, because again, I don't want to go full evolution with Samurott. So I went with Duat. So that gives us honestly not a badly balanced team. There is enough differentiation here to do a little bit with. I will say though, this team does get clapped with fighting types pretty easily. Pretty easily. Like half the team is going to get clapped by fighting types. That just happens, unless the Kecleon has Protean, and even then, who knows? So yeah, half the team gets clapped by fighting types. Another half of the team gets clapped and or struggles with fairy types, because even though King Gambit has the steel type, it's still got dark on it, so it's a bit of a mixed bag. But yeah, another half of teams is clapped by fairy types, more or less. And 2/3 of the team, or sorry, 1/3 of the team is just screwed over by fire types. Beyond that, though, there wasn't a huge shared weakness apart from when Tyrogue and Zoroark can get clipped by bug types as well. But those like only 1/3 weaknesses that don't count as true problems the team suffers. They're weaknesses for that sect of the team. But it's not until you get to half the team that you're like, okay, this team has a balance problem now. And again, the only one that they really have an issue with is some fairy type issues and some fighting type issues. That's it. So otherwise, I think this is a pretty reasonable team for this character. Again, it has been a while since I've watched Kids Next Door, so I couldn't tell you everything about this character. I vaguely remembered her, honestly. So, I don't know. You see this, what do you think? Do you like this team? Do you dislike this team? Let me know in the comments below. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.